All right. What's going on, world? What's going on? Let me try it. There we go. What's going on, world? It is definitely a pleasure to be with you. We are back here. This is the Culturally Correct
Bang.
podcast. You know what I mean?
Bang.
Bang, bang.
Bang.
Our bro Sincere couldn't be here tonight. He's getting to the money, getting that bag. Getting that bag. But don't worry. We found another light-skinned individual to fill in for him. You know what I mean?
Equally light skinned.
We're gonna keep the light-skin to dark-skin ratio where it needs to be. You know what I mean? We don't want anybody to feel no types of way.
Yeah, it's gotta be some light skins with me because they be jumping me. They jump me all the time.
So I'm going to allow this individual to, introduce themselves, man. So if you could, please give it to them.
Yo, what's up, world? My name is James Golden, aka Jimmy. I'm the younger brother of
It's been a long
Mr. Dane here. Just honored to be here, man. Looking forward to what we got going on tonight.
Well, it's your boy K-Mo, you know what I'm saying? Just trying to identify my indignities of insexual that I feel on the rectified simulation of the. Okay, yeah, that's me acting like that.
K-No.
And it's Rome.
Rome. Romy Rome.
That's all we need.
Hey,
Wrong.
so like we do every week, man, we're gonna hit it with that what I realized.
What you realize?
What I realized. And so I'm gonna go first. For those of you guys who've been listening, you kind of understand I've been anticipating the arrival of my third child, and
Congratulations.
yeah, man, it's a blessing, man.
Big
It's an
time.
honor. Yep. And so my wife, over the past couple of days, over the past week, she's been having some issues. I think most of it really is it's just like she don't want to be pregnant at the moment. You know what I mean?
It's rough at the end, ain't it?
Yeah. And so the other thing is too, though, is this is probably the longest pregnancy we've ever had. Both of my children, prior to my first two, they came kind of early, and so we're at 36 weeks. We're in the middle of the 36 week, and so this is the longest that she's ever, been pregnant. And so I guess I'm getting to what I realized. What I realized is something I've always known, but I think that I'm just reminded of it. It's like the strength of women.
Yes,
I'm
sir.
looking at my wife, man, and she's in this uncomfortable state. Back is hurting. She's having headaches and things of that nature. Blood pressure is not.
You rubbing
know
them
what I
feet,
mean?
man?
Oh, listen, I rub feet.
That's
often,
what I'm talking about.
Often.
Yeah.
They looking like little sausage links. You know what I mean? Cute little toes. You know what I mean? And so
Had a flashback.
yeah, I did. Legs are swelled up. You know what I mean? So I'm looking at all the things she's going through, to take on this responsibility of giving birth. And today, one of my students asked me, a young lady, she said, are you one of those guys that thinks that it's a man's world? And I told her, I said, nope. I said, because when I go back and I look at everything that has happened, throughout the history of civilization, nothing moves without the hand of a woman.
So are you mad at James Brown right now?
No, because
You gotta
he
listen
got
to
it
the
right.
song.
He
This
said,
is a man's world,
but
it's
it
nothing
would be
without a
nothing.
without a
but it
woman.
wouldn't be nothing without
That
a
boy
woman
was
or a
bad.
girl. Yeah,
That boy
so
was bad.
I told this young lady, no.
Listen to the
and
songs, bro.
my validation behind that was, I see what women go through. I get a chance to see it. Just with the whole idea, the whole process of birthing. And so shout out to my wife. She's the real MVP. She's amazing. I can't wait for our baby to get here.
Y'all got a name yet?
Yeah, we got a name, man. We definitely are naming. The middle name was definitely going to be Grace. So it's a young lady. It's a baby girl. And so the name is going to be Grace. We're not releasing the first name just yet. That's kind of.
We already knew it was
Dang,
gonna
it
be
sound
Grace.
like
We
an
was
album or
thinking
something.
Oh, okay. I can't
Blue
remember.
Ivy or something. Like
Blue
why?
Ivy.
It's
They
like
got a
denim.
album release party.
Northwest.
Mad exclusive B. You know what I mean? People still names every day, B. Every day, B.
Gotta wait on the time.
That's
I ain't mad at that.
So that's what I realized, man. Women are dope. I knew that, but I was reminded. Women are dope.
Yeah. I guess I'll jump into it. I think what I realized this week was that people expect for friendships or relationships to go south when there's like a dispute of some sort. It's kind of crazy because I came to this understanding like doing the show, like, you know, with my bros here, we've had a lot of disagreements.
Facts.
And that's fine. That's like, to me, that's what kind of brings me to the table and really makes me step up to my higher level is you know, challenges and stuff.
We bring the best out of you, K-Mo?
The best. I love these challenges. And so, like, when I would talk with people that, you know, normally listen to the show in the barbershop and things like that, it was almost like they was developing a hate for certain people in the cast. And I'm like, it's not like that. You know, and I think that this era is such a copycat era that when you go against the grain or you disagree with somebody, people start to feel like, well, where's the backlash or where's the anger gonna, you know, when is that gonna happen? And it's like, nah, like, it's okay. Like, if somebody thinks James Brown is better than Michael Jackson or vice versa, that's their opinion, you know, and everybody's entitled to it. But, like, I'm now starting to see myself and the younger generation, and I'm starting to see a gap. And I understand that a little better.
Shots
you know?
fired, K-Mo?
No. That's not. I'm even talking about from the youth standpoint. Like,
I'm just making
I know. Like, growing up, I never wanted to be the kid that I met the grown man that wasn't cool. You know what I mean? And I am now starting to feel like
you've become him.
well, I'm
Uncle Joe.
definitely cooler than y'all, but
I don't know,
but
K-Mo.
I'm definitely the coolest one in the group. Let's just be real here. K-Mo cuts.
You kind of.
I am definitely the coolest.
You look.
Let's
kind of showed your age, man. out here.
It's okay to be. Oh, look, I'm distinguished.
Yes.
I'm grown. And I'm definitely sexy, and I mean, and I'm cool.
Oh, all right.
I'm cool
you
to
can
them
keep that one
up.
to yourself.
I'm cool. So, but what I'm saying, look back to the seriousness of it. Like, you know, no matter how much you understand what's going on in your hip, there is a gap, and I've really been working on bridging that gap because, you know, sometimes dealing with the youth, you see challenges that they go through, and you may just be like, it's not a big deal. You know, you just bumped your head a little bit. Here's some ice. It's over with. But sometimes those little moments and showing them that you care and showing them that even though I may not understand your pain, I'm still here for you, it means a lot. So I'm working on me in that aspect. And I'm also understanding that, you know, even when you disagree, although people may think, oh, well, if somebody disagrees with you, go back at them. It's like, I may go back at you, but it's not going back at you with malicious intent. It's me expressing myself the same way that I would hope my counterparts would. And, you know, with this show, it's a lot of challenges and just looking at yourself in the mirror and examining, like, you know, how much have I grown? What have I realized? What's going on in my life? So for me, I feel like I'm really growing in accepting being wrong, being right, and accepting them equally instead of trying to be like, you know, I'm right, so that's the end all tell all. I kind of starting to feel like Michael Jackson. It doesn't matter who's wrong or right, just beat it. And, you know, it's at the end of the day, it's not always about being right or wrong. It's about having conversations. And that's one of the things I said in my intro was like having tough conversations. You know, even when we're talking about music, anything, you know, we're having tough conversations and we're growing as people and we're learning to be right, learning to be wrong. And I just realized that I'm growing because of this experience. And so it really means a lot to me to keep moving forward in those tough conversations and not always being caught up in being right or wrong. So that's my little deal for today.
Dope.
I know it was because I'm super cool, man. That's what really hurt y'all the most, probably, huh?
K-Mo got caught.
I get all the title.
So-
K-Mo got caught. Ain't caught. Like I really
you
was
missed the
right.
social media battle, which is why there's pretty much still, bro.
No. Hey, and my friends
Like,
responded.
they had
my friends
about-
responded.
They had about
lot-
I
a lot
don't know
of
how
people-
that didn't go viral.
Well, you know, it's just
A lot of people
agree, people
responded.
disagree.
Yeah, a lot of people agreed.
It was fun. It was fun, wasn't it,
really
Dane?
good. Nah, I enjoyed it, and
That's
and
the deal.
Here's the thing. This is how I know that you are in that space, because all the people that agree with you is 45 and older. You know what I mean? So, we're
Now
actually
that is far from the truth.
Makes
Man, let me
perfect
tell you
sense.
something. My nephews got on there and defended me.
Yeah, I feel
They
it.
defended
Wow.
you, not your comments.
Right.
Hey, a lot of them. Let me say. Let's get this out here. So my man said that Chris Brown is better than Michael Jackson. So you guys,
No, that's not what I said.
No, yes, you did.
I said he's a better
You said
singer and dancer.
He said. So he's better.
He's a
There's
better
no
vocalist?
thing that Chris Brown does better than Michael Jackson.
I'm just telling you, he's a better
There's
vocalist,
nothing. It's not
and one of
true.
your
It's
guys
not true.
actually, who was a musician.
not
I didn't
true.
really like Facebook stalking,
true.
but I did find out that he was a
were
worship
Facebook-
leader.
You were definitely.
Who's your friend that's the worship leader? He on the, in his profile picture, he on the blue suit.
I'm not sure.
Don't worry about it. But he's a
You know
musician.
exactly what it is.
I'm not sure.
He's
I'm
a
not sure.
musician,
I'm not sure.
and he was like, he said,
Good
"Nah,
question.
you know what,
That's a good
K-Mo?
question.
You know what I mean? Your boy Chris Brown is,
And you know
is a
what?
better vocalist."
And you know what? I can see that to some degree, but I don't feel like.
And
growing up in
have you
that
ever
era-
seen? See, but
You didn't grow up in Michael era.
I didn't grow up in Michael as in the young Michael, but I'm saying growing up as a kid, hearing what Michael could do with his voice,
He gets
I don't
nostalgia
see Chris
points.
Brown being able to sing the way that Mike did. Mike really changed the game.
He didn't
I'm
change
not.
anything.
Listen, check this out. I'm not saying that Mike
James
wasn't.
Brown to Michael Jackson. That's not a change in the game.
No, actually, Mike emulated James.
No. Listen. Mike did not emulate James Brown.
He told
but
you that he
I
emulated
know,
James.
I know that. Yes.
It's in the movie.
Michael Jackson did.
Remember, he was
follow
on the
James
side?
Brown, but that'll be like you saying that Kobe emulated Michael.
He did. He
To
tells
some
you that.
degree, but he, like I said, he's a 3-point
K-Mo
shooter.
got
So
caught.
it's
We not
different.
even going.
So
K-Mo got
No,
caught.
it's
How you
not
get
true.
caught in the what I realized
rude,
section
man.
of the podcast?
These are
Listen,
my
bro.
friends, and they
No.
just love to
Yeah,
hate.
no.
It's
Nobody
cool.
does it. Listen.
It's not personal.
It goes back. It's like
Your
this.
feelings
I
are
believe.
hurt.
No,
So-
my feelings not hurt.
So if we can get a vote going,
Why we gotta
Michael or
vote?
Chris Brown, I'm sick of it.
I'm
I'm
not
sick of
because
it. Who is going to agree with you?
here we go. Because this is what happened. This
Chris Brown doesn't
is
even
what
have
happened
a
on social
Thriller-
media.
Chris Brown doesn't even have a classic album.
And I agreed that Chris Brown will never ever reach the thriller piece. Remember, because this is what happened on social media. What happened on social media was people took my comments that I said Chris is a better vocalist, Chris is a better dancer, and then they made it seem like I was talking about his career. I do not agree that Chris has had the better career or more success than Mike. I'm just talking about at the two things of dancing and singing. That's it. I'm not saying he sold more albums. I'm not saying he even made better music. I'm talking about as it relates to singing, as it relates to dance. You ain't never seen Mike do a backflip.
Okay.
Have you ever
I've
seen
never
Mike do a
seen-
backflip?
I've never seen
You
Michael
haven't.
do a
Chris
backflip.
Brown got a whole set full of flips. Then he'll crump on you. Mike occasionally would give you a pop lock. You know what I'm saying? He had the
It
moonwalk.
wasn't his era to be dancing like that.
I understand it, but I'm
So-
saying
so
what I'm
this
telling
what
you
I'm
is
asking
is Chris can go into multiple genres. Mike did his thing, and he did his thing in
Michael
his space.
transcends every single music. Like he is the most sellable musician.
No.
of all
See,
time.
but you're naming career stats. I'm talking about dancing and singing. Chris is better in those two areas.
This is my problem with what you're saying.
And
This is my
Thriller will
problem.
never be reached by anybody. I'm gonna tell you why. Because
Never.
when Mike did it, nobody was burning. Rome wasn't around
No,
selling
but that's
CDs.
not true.
So
This is
nobody's
the-
ever going to
this is-
reach that
This is
peak
what
ever.
You talk about nostalgia points all the time. You know what I want to talk about?
Talk about it.
homage.
Homage.
You all don't pay homage to greatness. And that's this whole generation.
And-
LeBron's greatness, they don't pay homage to it. But they always Michael Jordan. But what about Dominique Wilkins? What about Reggie
what did
Miller?
he do?
Dominic
They did
Wilkins, you
great
can't.
things.
Don't
They were great
compare those
athletes.
two,
Don't
bro.
compare them two.
They were great athletes. Dominique Wilkins was averaging similar points to Michael Jordan. He just didn't have a Scottie Pippen.
No, he was a one-trick
You weren't
pony.
even old enough to.
You like 2 years older than me.
There you go. 45-year-old came
But
He was a one-trick pony. All he could do was dunk. He didn't have no jumper. He couldn't hit a free throw. Oh, let's talk about stats. We talk about stats now. Don't change subject. You told me I wasn't old enough.
For a long time, Dominique Wilkins was my favorite player.
Okay, so
So
stop.
Dominique's averages were around 27 points a game.
Did he have a jumper?
Around 27 points.
Who
a
jumper
game.
was better?
It doesn't matter. He
Yes, you
averaged
did.
27 points a game.
Listen.
You could not stop him from dunking on you. If he had
If you
he
couldn't
would be
stop it, he'd have
just
won
as
some
dominant
rings or
as
some
Jordan If he
MVPs.
had him a Scottie Pippen.
I'm not
and he
denying.
competed with Jordan, even with his Scottie Pippen.
I'm not denying Michael Jackson's greatness. That's not what I'm doing. I am not saying that he didn't have an
We're gonna
illustrious
get to this
career.
challenge. My challenge to you.
No,
is
because I got a
for
challenge for you.
Okay,
because
well,
you ain't listened to a Chris Brown album.
This is my challenge.
Have you listened to a Chris Brown album?
I asked the challenge first.
Okay, go ahead.
My challenge is for you to take a week with Michael Jackson, and I will take a week with Chris Brown, and we come back and have this conversation.
Yes, but I'm gonna tell you why that doesn't work, because I'm not talking about the quality of music, bro. That's what you keep going back to the quality of
you
music
talking about?
because you
His
lost the
voice,
argument.
His voice and his dancing. So
That's
take
it.
a week.
Just those-
visual,
just-
go
just
back
those
and
talents.
watch. This is it. Go back and watch because you got to understand.
Mike's greatest dance
A lot of the
performance
stuff that
was
Mike
with
was
his
doing-
sister in the
what
was
Chris
that
Brown did
not
was
control.
emulate Michael Jackson, and then he went further.
I know what
He
you're
went
talking about.
further. Trumpet and stuff wasn't cool when Michael was doing that, but Michael, as far they was doing the what they call that the
Pop
dance.
locking. It was
No,
it
no,
was
I'm
the
talking about
robot.
James
What are you talking
Brown
about?
dance they did, the mashed potato. Like that was like the big thing when James Brown. So he did the mashed potato, and then Michael Jackson took it to
Whole
the
nother level.
moonwalk, and then all the extra things that he did with his music. Now I understand what you're saying, but I'm saying that with the time period, Mike was at the peak.
I feel you.
He was at the peak, and I don't see that Chris Brown is
I'ma
really
tell-
at
I'ma-
the peak.
I'ma tell you why I
because
can't
his
take your
music
challenge.
Does not, his
And
music
then we'll
does
move
not-
on. The reason why I cannot take your challenge is because I own Thriller, like legit,
Yeah.
and I've listened to it multiple times.
I mean, Chris Brown don't have a hot album to me.
You don't know that because you've never
I've
listened.
listened to the man's music. He has a lot of
You don't
hits
know
out there.
that because you
I
never
don't
listened
own
to
the
his
Chris
music.
Brown album because he never did anything
And your age is
spectacular.
preventing
but
you
I
from
have
pressing
a
the
Michael
download
Jackson
button.
album because guess why? Michael Jackson was the peak at his time. Chris Brown is not the peak of his time right now.
I'll say this though, Chris Brown was definitely on his way to being the peak
He was
pre the Rihanna
but the drugs
incident.
and the tattoos and all
Fact,
that
though.
prevented him from where he wanted to go.
Even with the
Michael
all
Jackson
that.
never let the drugs get to him. He was sleepwalking. and
Yeah, he
doing
died. What?
All right,
I'm
so
saying
Rome,
it's over.
what did you
It's
realize
over.
this week?
Ding, 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 ding.
Boom, K-Mo's lost another.
No, you lost.
Michael Jackson never let the drugs get to him.
Until they
How
killed
we get
him.
these
They
memorial
killed
in?
him.
Right.
And that, if they would have never killed him with the drugs, he had a schedule. He was doing the
said,
drugs and not dying.
This man
Then they
said
killed him.
Michael Jackson never let the drugs get to
That's
him.
like saying that about Whitney.
It's a case. Hey,
Listen, that's definitely
Hey,
a
that,
case.
that new chick on the floor, she might be the closest thing I ever seen to Whitney Houston. Have y'all checked her out?
I haven't watched.
I ain't
I
checked it
don't
out.
have time to watch
Oh, man, this
TV.
chick
Bro,
is
what
amazing.
have you realized
What I have realized.
besides the fact that Michael Jackson
I'm
never
interrupting
let the
Rome
drugs
again, 'cause
get to
Rome
I
him?
didn't never
always.
started. I never started. You didn't interrupt this one.
And Rome always tries to catch me slipping, double team action.
I didn't
It's
say-
cool.
I'm
Y'all
just-
jump.
I'm just about
And when
facts.
y'all like to jump me. And it's
the
cool.
fact is-
But see, I can back into a corner and I can fight my way out.
Go ahead, Ron.
Go, Mike.
So what really bothers? It's what I realize. What bothers me. So you ever go to Walmart or some big store or mall, and they circle around for the front spots? Like it pisses me
That
off.
happens to be my girl.
Like it pisses me off. you'll wait 2 hours for a spot up front to walk around somewhere for 4 hours. Like, just walk in. You're already walking when you're in there for 4 hours.
Bro, let me tell you an argument that I won with my girl. So, like me, I always pull right into the same spot when I go to Walmart. I know where it's at. It's going to be open, but it's a little further away, but I don't mind walking. So we always argue. I'm like, you know what? Today, why don't you just go ahead and you drive and do your normal thing? So she does her normal thing. I'm like, look how much time we taking. Look, I'm sick. I'm tired of waiting. I'm tired of waiting. I'm tired of waiting. So needless to say, I do it my time the next time. I pull right in. We go inside quick. I'm like, so my time is faster. I don't get why.
It's the whole walking. Like, you literally are saying, I don't want to walk when you want that spot up front.
Right.
Now, mind you, if it's a spot there, I'm going to get it. But I'm not going out my way to get a spot up front. Like, it's
That-
the last
I don't
thing
know
I'm
if that's a woman thing, man. My girl
like,
gotta
you
have
about
that
to
spot.
walk, you about to go in there and walk for 4 hours. And then what I realized, I still don't understand. I'm going to get some heat, some backlash for this. Why? Because I've been doing some home improvements. Why is it handicap spots at Lowe's and Menards?
Wow.
Like, if you doing anything like
That
that,
is-
That's almost
Rome
racist.
exclusive.
That's, what is racist on disability?
Why?
That's
Why do you need
disability
to know
racist.
But Rome feels this way.
Rome is upset at people that can't walk but need to get their house fixed.
why you
Hey, bro. So since I'm in a wheelchair, I can't.
that
I
means you,
can't
go
you
out.
saving energy, you rolling. Like,
Hey, I used to work at
park
Lowe's.
farther
They
away.
be in there rolling around, picking up big old bags of wood. I'm like, what you gonna do with all that wood?
it just puzzles me. That's that one.
I feel that.
Like, see, you
I
feel
feel
it?
I mean, I would rather park up closer though. You know what I'm saying? Like I understand what you're saying.
Like,
Well,
I don't want to carry my 6 2x4s and you got somebody wheeling yours out with you, and I gotta walk all to the back
Yeah,
to the park
for sure.
lot.
For
I'm
sure.
gonna tell you, man, my buddy, he wrote on his timeline, if I ever catch somebody that doesn't have a handicap parking in a handicap spot, I'm gonna punch him in the face. Well, I happen to drive my dad's car every once in a while, and he got a little handicap sticker on there. And I pulled up
somebody
in his
who's-
spot, and I
I
thought
can't
to
say
myself, I wish he was here right now so I could punch him in his face. I'm doing this today because I need this parking spot. You know how many times I couldn't park up front because they was all full?
It's a lot
This
of
my
people
little
that
shining
get
time.
upset about that. Like one
Yeah,
time, I
what
went to the
they do.
mall and I was, you know, when you about to go in and come right back out because you know exactly what you need. And you know what I'm saying? It was a handicap
How dare
spot
you.
open. So I went up there and I parked, and this man elderly man was walking out, and he just looked at me and he just stared. He was like, "I hope one day you really need that spot."
I would have said,
See, now that's wrong. I hope one day you really need.
Yeah.
I would have been mad. Like, what you mean?
It's your fair you talk about me like that. You keep telling you spot.
Why can't I park up front?
Man.
see, like, so.
That's so mean. That
I
was
was
the meanest thing.
We listen here at Culturally Correct. We love all people, and
All people.
all shapes and sizes.
We, everybody gets
We just
love.
don't like some of y'all habits.
Some of y'all need to grow up.
Jimmy, man, what you realize this week, man?
For me, man, what I realized is I am capable of a lot more than what I am doing. You know what I mean? In multiple areas of life, academically, financially, spiritually, whatever it is, man. I realize that I am like leaps and bounds more capable of like what I'm putting out. So, kind of just working on myself and trying to figure out how to get myself over this little hump.
You should listen to Fruitful Fridays.
Fruitful
little
Friday?
tidbits out there.
Oh,
Some
yeah.
gems out there.
Oh,
every
yeah, he
Friday.
You can
Take no
find that on the
time.
Culturally Correct Facebook page.
Oh, man, my man
All right.
Jerome got you
Fruitful
together.
Fridays.
I'm right.
He got you
Fruitful
together.
Friday.
Plums, oranges.
So
Grapes,
let me ask you
pears,
this. I hate to be the devil's advocate, but if you haven't done what you want to do yet, how do you know you're capable?
I don't know. It isn't because I haven't done it. It's just because
You gotta
like
put the effort in.
I haven't put the effort into it. You know what I'm saying? Like I
So
know.
you're lazy.
Yeah. At the end of the day, you know, lazy, procrastination.
I'm
Complacent.
lazy too. I'm very lazy.
Complacent,
sometimes.
yeah.
I
I've
wouldn't call
always done-
anybody lazy. Everybody's complacent.
Yeah.
They get comfortable in there.
Yeah.
I've always done like just enough. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
even like in school, like I've always done like just enough. When
That's
I know I
usually
can
when
go
you're
for the
talented.
4.0, and I'm just
Like,
like,
I'm okay for a
I'm gonna go
3.
ahead and get this,
Give me
this
that
C, this
3.5.
B. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like,
I'll take
So-
the 3.5. It's a little easier.
but I know I'm capable of doing the 4.0 or bringing in multiple streams of revenue. I just haven't done it. You know what I'm saying?
So are you like? Do you feel motivated to do more? Or
Yeah, but I don't like to really dwell in motivation. You know what I'm saying? I want it to be more so like a lifestyle. Because motivation, it could just lead to you like temporarily feeling a certain way. Yeah.
So that's new. Like dwelling in the motivation. Like,
Yeah.
can you explain that a little? Because
Well, it's like if you ever like went to church or you had a motivational speaker come and you just kind of like listen to what they saying, it like kind of get you like pumped up, right?
yeah,
And like you feel this way for maybe like a day, a couple days, a week or so, and then slowly it just kind of like you regurgitate, like go back to your old habits and whatnot.
right.
And I don't want to do that. I mean, it's nice to be motivated, but I want to kind of like change it. Yeah, and I want to make it like an actual lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? I want to always be able to give myself 100% in everything that I do. So I'm not really trying to be motivated towards that. I'm trying to change my habits to where like it's a natural thing
Lines
for me.
up. Lines
Yeah.
up.
Motivation is
Man,
temporary.
I like that. I like
Yeah.
that. That's like a new thinking for me. I think I've heard people speak like that, but the way you just put that puts some things in perspective for myself. Because I do get motivated at times, and then I jump away from it. But I do like that way of thinking. That's
Yeah,
pretty cool, man. That's
Drive.
pretty cool.
That's the word.
Yep.
Drive, yeah,
Yep.
driven,
Yeah.
driven.
Huh. So we got a few topics we got to get to
Oh boy,
today, man. First, man, we're gonna start off with Rome's president, man. In case y'all didn't know, Rome definitely
voted for.
voted
Trump.
I did not vote
for
Trump.
the
Why you trying to
But
not
K-Mo
claim
the
did
the
vote.
commander in chief.
so
vote for
if
what?
I voted for
Oh yeah, and K-Mo gave him a vote because if you didn't vote, there's a vote for.
Well, whatever.
You know what
But
I mean?
the bottom line is, I did not respect either candidate.
I feel you.
I'm being real.
I feel you. Well, speaking about respect, the commander in chief had enough respect for a ex-adult film star, ex-porn star. Her name is Stormy Daniels, to where he paid for her silence pretty much to the tune of a couple $100,000.
Buffoonery.
Yeah, so he ended up, deciding that it was probably best that he went ahead and paid her off, and he did this in efforts to silence her. To allow the campaign that he ran in 2016 to go a little bit smoother, and so I guess my biggest issue with the entire thing is he had a huge support from white evangelicals. And so
Yes, he
that's just
did.
another
Yes, he
way of
did.
saying white church people. And they're really big on, morals. They're really big on,
Or are they anymore?
well, no, I'm telling you, traditionally, they've been big on morality. They've been big on, doing the right thing, blase scoop. But more and more, as Trump is, beginning to show more of himself, we realize that
We truly is.
he
maybe
showed us who he was.
yeah, no, but he's doing
he's
it more.
continuously
He's
showing
he's
us.
continuing to do it, and I'm learning that maybe morals aren't as important to this particular group of individuals as it once was.
Do you think money could be involved? Because that's the only thing. Like, when Clinton was running, they was ready to impeach him right out the gate for what he did, and it's like now that he's doing this, there's no outrage, there's no outcry. My buddy put up a meme, not a meme. He just put up a post, and he was like, "Thanks, Trump. I had to explain to my son what grab him by the means, and now I got to explain to him what a porn star is."
Yeah.
To my kid, we're talking about the president of the United States. So what happens to him is like on the big stage where even kids are capable of seeing what he's doing.
Facto.
And it's just hard for me to understand how a man can be in a position of power like that, that's supposed to have prestige, carry himself well. And I mean, one of the most prestigious positions you can have. And he carries himself like trash. And it's because of his money. He has so much money that we ignore some of the issues. So I don't know if he paid off the evangelists or he's funding the churches or what he's doing, but why aren't they speaking to the tune of what's really taking place? This is really, to me, this is terrible. This is a tragedy, you know, just as much as the shootings and things, because he is assassinating the character of presidents.
Yeah,
he makes president sound like something that's not even important anymore. You know, you don't have to even carry yourself with class to be one of the highest positions in the United States of America.
In the world.
In the world, yeah.
It used to be, you know, leader of the free world. So that's a bit. I don't know if he necessarily paid him off. This is what I do think, and I've talked to. I got a couple buddies, man, who I would consider, you know what I mean, intelligent, and aware of, you know, of what's real in this world. A lot of people would deny that white supremacy exists, but I got a few white buddies who understand that it's a real thing. They understand that institutional racism actually exists and things of that nature. And before Trump was elected, I was speaking to this particular brother of mine, man, a white guy, and he was basically saying, like, you know, talking to some of his friends, because he's able to get behind the curtain that I'm not able to get behind. You know what I'm saying? He was like, listen, pretty much what it is the reason why this guy has the amount of steam and support that he has is because essentially this is the retaliation for the past 8 years.
That's what I figured.
Yeah,
that's what I figured. So this is because we had Obama, we had our moment to them. This is our chance to show you that we're ultimate, we're supreme. He actually my friend, he actually identified Trump as the WASP. Wow.
And
the WASP.
It's an acronym. There's an acronym there, and I'm forgetting the complete. I have to look it up. I'm gonna look it up here in a second. But anyways, basically, this is the last hope. Like, a lot of white people felt like, yo, like, this is our last hope. Like, we not gonna rock with Hillary because,
so we're gonna put the stinger in you even if it kills us.
Right. This is our last swing. We're gonna go out with a bang. And secretly, I like what he talking. I like what he's saying.
Because secretly, I feel that way.
Oh yeah. So it's nice to put some volume to these quiet thoughts that I've been having for years.
Wow. I just want to see what people gonna say about how I truly feel. That's crazy to me. That's crazy. But I really could see that. You know, I feel like LeBron, he's a bum. He's a bum, man. And it's not because, you know, it's because the thought process behind the things that he's done shows that he doesn't have any class at all. He doesn't care about anybody but himself. All his actions are selfish acts. It's not like he's planning things out. He just throws stuff out there. Let's arm teachers. No research done. You know, nobody even takes the time out to see what will actually happen. He just throws stuff out there. He doesn't care about people's real lives and what they really have to deal with, you know, and a lot of his ideas are not well thought out. It's just like, I got money and you're going to do what I say, and I'm going to run America like a business. And America's not a business, although I guess it is. Maybe it is a business.
WASP, White Anglo-Saxon Protestant male. That's what the acronym for
I got you.
WASP is. Yeah, man. And so that's the term that he used. That was my first time ever being, you know what I mean, introduced to that term. But it makes sense, man. It makes perfect sense. And the presidency, for, you know, since its, you know, existence, it always swang from one extreme to another. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, even though it was all white guys, but, you know, it was always like one ideology to the left, and then we're gonna swing to one ideology to the right. And so I still contend this, even though, like, this is probably, like, hands down one of the most, like, horribly ran administrations, like, ever. Because like he has people he's either firing people or people are stepping down like left and right.
And they getting indicted.
I mean, it's bad. I will say this though.
Jerome, don't say too much because this is your president. Like, I noticed you ain't said nothing in a long time, so I know you're not going to go against it. Hey, Rome making sure he...
I didn't want to interrupt anybody. I didn't want to get any accusations thrown out
my
there.
God.
But peep this though. So I will say this. I do feel like, and I've gotten a lot of flack for this comment, but I want you guys to tell me what you think. I think personally, Trump, this whole Trump era has done more for the conversation on race than Obama's era ever did. I'm saying in 1 year,
a lot.
Him being in office has driven more needed conversation about race and about the climate of this country than Obama did in 8 years.
I'd have to agree. My biggest thing is I always with Obama, it was like he said yes we can, and no we could not, and that was always my big thing. And a lot of people are like, what do you mean by that? I mean, when you say yes we can, I believe that there was going to be some racial issues discussed and actually looked at some ways to solve things. It was like with Obama, he was just kind of getting away from everything. He would smooth everything over by saying the right things at the right time, but not really discuss the true problem. And don't get me wrong, I loved Obama as a president, the thought of having a black president. But I think in a lot of ways it hurt us because it was like we went back into chill mode. But when Trump came in, it's like we're back in defense of a lot of issues. And I think a lot of times it's not black or white issues, it's really wealthy versus poor issues that we're identifying as racial issues, but it's showing that there's
historically class. People of color have been poor.
Definitely. And I understand that, but I also think that there are a lot of white people that fall into that category, and they're understanding that. You standing for
exist, you know what I mean?
You're standing for a president that doesn't stand for you in any way, shape, or form.
No.
I watched this
here in Indiana, the company he actually Carrier. He actually campaigned here in Indiana and said, "Yo, listen, y'all jobs are not going nowhere." Trump. He said, "Your jobs are not going nowhere." If I'm not mistaken, man, they've already let go of hundreds, if not a few thousand of employees, this particular company, and the jobs went overseas.
Right.
Yeah, I mean these are
Mexico.
Yeah, these are the exact same people that got him in the office. You know what I mean? They said that they were saying that from the beginning. Like, listen, like he's not for you poor people. Like,
well,
for you, even for you poor white folks. Like,
it's
he ain't
interesting
for
you say that. I watched this guy that's a white guy that considers himself pro-black. His name is Tim Wise, and what he talks about is the greatest trick that was played on the white race. And it was a point in time where they had to decide, like, how can we make everybody feel like they're a part of this privilege thing, or this what's the word I'm looking for? Let's just use privilege. This privilege thing. And even though the poor white people may not have felt like, oh, I'm getting money out of this situation, they felt like they were a part of something. So then they started looking down on black people, even if they didn't have any reason to. But they made them feel a part of this movement, so that now you look at what's going on now, a lot of white people are starting to say, you know what, I side with what black people are saying because this applies to me too.
Yeah.
And this Tim Wise guy, man, is really interesting to hear his take on a lot of things, because he's coming from a perspective of a white male that says there is racism. And what he also talks about is systemic racism.
Yep.
And how that affects. And if you don't know what systemic racism is, basically it's just a system that's put together to make sure that no matter how you look at it, there's going to be disadvantages for certain people, which in this case is blacks. Yeah. So it's really interesting. If you don't know about Tim Wise, check him out. He has a nice way of thinking about things, and I think that he's talking for people like us. And so I think it's somebody that you want to check out.
Yeah.
Still no wrong.
I know. I just wanted to let y'all finish, and I'm gonna go back on a couple topics.
Trump. Let's go, Trump.
I think Clinton had the same conversation with kids. Like, I had to learn what a blowjob was when Clinton was in, because that's what he did with Monica.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So That was what, 96?
But they got him up out of there though. They said, "Hey, no."
He stayed.
Well, but
this is what
it
they-
was
see,
it was
this is
it
what
was
we
a
talking
talk.
about. I let you
about
talk the whole time.
So I can't talk with you. I'm sorry. I'll be quiet. I'm sorry, Rome. Boss man.
So they impeached him, and impeachment doesn't mean kick you out. That just means they holding you to a standard and they bringing up your actions and they're taking you to court. It's like an indictment. So they're charging him with lying. That's what his impeachment was for lying. And he said, "Yeah, I'm sorry, I lied. I did do this." And what did his impeachment get? Did he get kicked out of office? No. So I think what people are scared to do to impeach Trump, they won't impeach him because it's just going to be a process where he still gets to stay in office. Because he has done a lot more, far more than any other president to get kicked out of office. I think they just won't impeach him to have that process started for nothing to happen because it happened with Clinton. That's my take on that, why they haven't did anything. Because it's crazy how many people getting indicted, all the spy stuff, all the rigging, how he's like untouchable. Everybody around him is falling like flies. He's like the Godfather. Like everybody else taking the blame, not talking, they doing their time, and he's still laughing at us. But I agree with Damon saying the talk about race has been more prevalent with Trump. I'm gonna say this: Obama didn't talk about race, not once.
I don't think he could.
I don't think he wanted to. Obama was safe. He was always safe.
Had to be.
He didn't have to be.
No, if he wanted to get reelected, he had to be.
If he wanted to get anything, he had to be safe. So I'd give you this. I didn't vote for Obama the first term. Didn't vote for him. I campaigned for him, got people out to vote, got people to the polls. I physically did not vote for Obama. I didn't vote that year at all. 0.
You was busy?
No, I just didn't vote. I got people signed up to vote. I just didn't do it.
Oh.
Because one, I wanted him to be the first black president, but I didn't want him to be the first black president because I knew what Kamo was talking about. Kamo voted for him, and he wanted black things to be on the top topic.
On the agenda.
And it wasn't going to be. Not once did he say, I'm going to free my people, I'm going to do this, I'm going to give reparations. He never.
Yes, we can.
Is synonymous. If you think divided, we is divided. But if you think as a whole, he did a lot of stuff for the U.S. as a whole. Obama, as a president, did more for me than any other president.
In his campaigns, he did speak a lot about the issues that we had going on, and he kept saying, "Yes, we
did.
can."
We have health issues,
yes, we can.
And he got us health care.
I think you're thinking that we meant black folk.
I think, like I say, I'm not really big on the race card no more. When he said "we," I thought he was talking to the people that have struggles.
Well, but the reason why
bringing the economy up.
He did bring the economy up.
He did.
Just not like how you wanted
to.
Bit.
No, he did.
But the economy was we was paying $5 for gas.
And now,
you know what I'm saying? So
he did what he could do.
But then also, too, though, I think that depending on who you talk to, because I don't believe that homosexuals will have the same analysis that we would have. We have this announcement. He didn't really do too much. Homosexual, like he was behind that. He was behind that gay agenda. Like he was.
I agree with that. He went to bat for
like heavy
minority.
But why not us?
This is some of the numbers from every year that he was in office. Okay, I take that back. The first year he was in office, and this is from the Bureau of Labor and Statistics. The first year he was in office, we had a loss of about 3.5 million jobs. The second year he was in office, we had a loss of about 5 million jobs, and that was in 2009. Every year after that, so 2010 through 2016, there was each year at least 2 million jobs added every year. So he started off in the hole 8.5, and in the next 6 years he put 12.
I don't agree with that whole job thing, those numbers, because I feel like they skewed. Because at the end of the day, when did temp services come in? When Obama moved in, what they was doing is putting a lot of temp services on these factory jobs where you might get paid $10 an hour to work for a job that really pays $17 an hour, but they got to pay the temp service. And then that way they don't really have to have any loyalty to you until you get past your probationary period. And then at that point, we had a fire will stay here in Indiana. So if they want to fire you, they can fire you for no reason. literally.
You know the
And
reason
so-
behind that?
No, I don't.
You know the temp service thing? Most people don't know this. What companies pay you full time is bigger than what you think. It's more than your wage. It's
Way
more than
more.
your $17.
Yeah.
Because they give you benefits such as insurance. So say you pay $300 for insurance a month. The company pays $600-700 a month on you. So we're going through temp services. They actually don't have to pay you that. It's the temp service job. And then it saves them money on the back end because then guess what? They don't have to hire as many HR people to screen the people to get the jobs. And that's why they start going through temp service to screen the weak people out so they wouldn't have to do it and pay unemployment. Then it's a temp job so they can't get unemployment because they technically weren't full time. So it's a bigger scheme than just a temp service job. It's getting people working, getting people money, but people got tired of spending money and turning their wheels on getting people who go to work for a month to get unemployment and then sit at home and collect 80% of what they was making.
I'm not saying that it's not a smart business move, but it just to me shows a lot of disloyalty.
It's not a smart business.
Disloyalty to so we're talking about
Because if you work, I know a lot of people who got temp jobs who got full-term employment. It was like it's a probationary period. After 90 days, if you were hired on or not, they could fire you.
Well,
and not
I've
give you
worked
anything.
in the factories where I've worked there, and people have been working there 3, 4, 5 years even, and they still haven't got hired on, and they're coming to work every day, and they got a point system. So, you know, if you miss certain days, then you out. So a lot of times it may sound good, but what if you are that guy that's busting your butt coming to work, and because of the way the system's set up, you're not getting paid fairly?
Make that choice to move on.
I understand your a lot of times your whole thing is
It's a
moving
choice.
on, but the
It's
thing
a
about it
choice.
is that there's not a lot of stability in America right now where you can just go work a job for 30 years and things like that. You know, but if you talk to the baby boomers and you ask them how long you been working here, 30 years, 40 years.
This is what I'm gonna tell you.
So
the baby
but
boomers
we
were
can't
industrial people. We're not industrial. It's no more making. It's no more wars. It's no more making a lot of products. We are the technology generation.
And we do not educate our children in that direction. And so that's one of the biggest issues is you're right. We were at one point huge on big factory jobs and things of that nature. So it wasn't really a huge issue if I decided to go off to college because I can go get a job at the factory making more money than somebody who went to school for 4 years and came out to be a teacher. I'm gonna make more money than you know what I mean? And I don't have to put in.
But it's still true, though. Now, a lot of people that worked in the factory straight out of high school are making a lot more money than the college students because we're getting all that student loans
But what I'm
that
saying
take
is,
away
though,
our
but
income.
those factories are continually moving, you know what I mean, away from, you know, America's, you know what I mean, cities and
Definitely,
towns and
definitely.
things of that nature. And so I wanted to chime in on the educational piece because we're not like in elementary, kids should be learning to build apps. You know
I
what I mean? Like
agree.
they should be learning to build apps. They should be learning
I agree.
web design. Like they should be learning all of that stuff like in elementary. That should be like standard because like Rome said, we're technology driven now.
Right, but right now there's a lot more educated people, and there isn't
You
the
confuse
jobs for them.
education with knowledge.
No,
'Cause as
no,
long as
I'm
you
not
have
confusing
knowledge
it,
with-
Jerome. I'm saying there is a lot of people with degrees that don't have jobs. I'm not saying they're not knowledgeable. I'm not saying they are knowledgeable. I'm saying they own degrees, and degrees aren't respected by companies.
It depends on what you. This is what our parents didn't teach us. They didn't tell us to go to school and get degrees in what. They told us to go to school, get a degree.
That's true.
They,
I agree.
They didn't say go to get degrees in computers or private sector social jobs. Because guess what jobs are always hiring? Social jobs that need degrees and technology jobs. But they send us to liberal arts schools. We get art and music degrees. We get all this stuff that you don't need that degree to be successful
Listen,
at.
man, I think that it's obvious that that the change is taking place. I think that small cities or small towns in America are definitely different. I think that for sure we're in a place where change has to happen in the mindset. I feel like you have a lot of people from that baby boomers generation who are still in positions of influence who think that running things the way that things were
Old school.
used to be is going to work right now. And it's yeah, it's
Shots fired, none hit.
yeah.
It was warnings. They was in the air.
They were
But-
in the air.
But there has to be some type of a shift. Speaking
I
of
agree wholeheartedly.
things,
Nice solution.
yeah.
shots
Speaking
at your head.
of things changing, one of the things that I peeped out earlier this week is I read in an article that people are, and the reason why I had to read this is because it pertains to my business, but people are getting married. Fewer people are getting married, so there's less people entering into marriage. For whatever reason, but I figured, I'm about to talk to a couple of, smart individuals, and I would love to get y'all takes on why this recent trend is persisting and happening. Why is it the trend that fewer people are jumping into marriage? What do you guys think it's attributed to?
Throwing Kamo under the bus. He's the non-married one out the group and the oldest. So I've been married twice, so I get married.
Do you get points on that? Or?
Hey. No, I can talk on it though. I'll just give you a hard time. I wanted to interrupt you, get to the point.
Hey,
All those
I
things
wanted
said
to
that
let
day.
you speak because if I didn't, I think you was gonna have a fit on me.
I don't have fits.
Tantrum.
I think people are not getting married because they don't see the benefit. It's a disconnect. To most people, marriage is a religious act for most people. Like when our parents got married and their parents got married, it was something you had to do because the Bible told you to. You know, it was a lot of things going on that
Can I agree with you, or I shouldn't say nothing?
you could say, "Oh, I like that."
I agree with you.
And so
He's still my friend. See,
so I think
love you,
it's
Jerome,
just that
my buddy.
it's a disconnect from tradition to now in a lot of aspects of life and time. So I think it's just that. It's that old Harmon's why I pay for the cow when you get in the milk. It's all those things added up all into one. I don't know. I just think
I would just say men are losing, man. You ain't seen Nas' situation? Nas got hit over the head by Khalees. Hit over the head
that's why you should get
for that
married.
child support. Hit over the head. It's like, it's hard for somebody to be committed with social media. Social media can ruin so much of your relationship because you got to think, like, with women, it's like,
I just want everyone to know that
it's just,
this is a Kamo.
We're going there already.
this is I'm gonna tell you, like,
Yeah,
I've
tell
seen,
me-
this, I've seen this movie before.
men
all
shoot shots.
women listening to this
Men-
podcast understand that these are the feelings and thoughts of Kamo and Kamo alone.
Alone,
If
and
you were
that's
saying,
fine.
Kamo, you said
That's
women?
fine. Men take a lot of
so
shots.
you said women?
Women have these social media accounts. I personally, I'll be real. I think women are more pimps than men now. That's just my personal. It's just my personal feeling. And how does
exclusive.
that happen? That happens because of social media, and men take a lot of shots at women. They don't care if they're in a relationship. They don't care if they're married. They don't care. They taking a shot. They just trying to hit something, and they like drunk drivers. They'll hit. And the thing about it is, and run. So, you might have a couple girls that hit you in your inbox. You cute. But women have this on a daily. So for a man, it's kind of hard for you to say, well, shoot, let me go ahead and settle down. You don't know what you're getting. If we talked about all access.
So
if you don't have all access to your woman, it's bound for some stuff to happen because there's so much temptation.
So bring it around the corner for us. So the reason why fewer people are getting married in your eyes is because what?
Social media
women
and
are
the
pimps.
change and I really feel like it's a change from masculinity to femininity in men, because right now women act more like men. Like, men used to get taunted about being players and things like that, but it's really women doing a lot of that now because they can get in their inbox, whether it's Snapchat, whether it's Instagram, whether it's Facebook, they have so many different options. And if you don't have full access to your woman's phone, you don't know what she's doing because there's so many opportunities.
I'm cool, B.
And that's the whole thing. Like nobody wants to go that deep, but there's a lack of communication.
I'm telling you from experience.
No. If you go looking for trouble, you bound to find
Exactly. That's
something.
what I'm saying.
That's the whole
it's
thing.
something.
That's the whole thing. It's like it's hard to trust in
So
this
it's lack
era.
of trust.
Well, it's
No.
It's
Let
hard.
Kamo say it the way he want to say it.
It's
One more
harder to
time.
trust these days.
Kamo, just get.
It's harder
If you
for
can give me a-
men.
You can't
I
trust
think.
these
I think.
hoes.
I think. You know, and I'm not saying they. I'm not saying they hoes.
Yeah,
I'm not.
Okay. Not
I
this
just
week.
think
Listen.
that women have a lot more opportunity than they ever have.
Okay, hold on,
They
wait.
don't.
Just
It's
give
still
me
more women in
Hold
the world
on,
than
wait,
men.
Yeah.
Rome. Stop
Yeah.
interrupting
It's-
Kamo. Give me the condensed, like, 3-sentence version of what you just said.
Give me the
And one more time,
mission
I'm gonna ask the
Look,
question.
look.
The reason why fewer people are getting married is because what?
See, this y'all attacking me. And
No.
you know what? I get jumped every episode.
We're not attacking.
So I'm
you.
just gonna be quiet.
No, we're not attacking.
Yes.
I would kind of piggyback on like what you're saying as far as like social media and the disconnect. I think it's more so people are so into technology and their phones and stuff like that, so they don't really know how to behave in a relationship with another human being. I feel like
Agreed.
that people just don't know how to like even now, like I even struggle with like kind of pop off like how to go up and holler quote unquote at a female, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like usually it's through the phone. It's like, oh, I see something on Instagram, I'm gonna go ahead and double tap. You know what I'm saying? Send them hard
you can
eyes.
win that easy, a double tap.
Yeah, I mean, you know what I'm saying?
bing.
So
But
people are less social.
less social, and it makes it hard for you to. I mean, it's just not easy for you to
Thank you, Mr.
communicate with the
Golden.
next person.
Light skinned people gotta stick together. I was heading that same direction. Don't stop now. Don't stop now. Don't stop now. That's what I'm saying.
I think that's a big thing, man.
So I mean, do you see yourself? I mean, you're the youngest here. How old are you again?
21.
21.
Savage.
Do you see yourself getting married, and if so, when?
Wow, B.
Shots.
Wow, B.
Dang,
That's where we
put
going,
him
B.
out
Is
there.
it a special someone in your life right now?
He hit him with a smack TV.
I do see myself getting married, and here's why. I see myself getting married because I've always been around people that's like a thing. You know what I'm saying? Like I've always been around older people, and that's what I've always saw. So it is a goal for me. Like a lot of these people that aren't into marriage, it's because their mom wasn't married.
visible. It wasn't visible.
It wasn't visible. They didn't see it.
It wasn't modeled out.
Right, exactly. So because I've seen it, it is a goal of mine. Now when that is to happen, God has yet to let me know. You know what I
Good
mean?
answer.
See how nice they were to him. They agreed with him, but when I say something, I'm just
I'm leaning on his unchanging hand.
Hallelujah. Yes,
He's
God.
yet
Yes,
to
God.
tell me
I
when
receive
to
it.
propose.
I will receive it though.
Yeah.
Hallelujah.
Got so many missed calls from God. You know what? Hello, God, huh? So in this article that I read, I'm just gonna take a different spin on it. In this article that I read, one of the things that they attributed it to, because they also talked about how people are having kids at a lesser rate, and they attributed it to student loan debt.
Oh, you can't afford them.
Wow.
Yeah, no, it makes perfect
I
sense.
can
Like
see that, but
when
dang.
you were like tens of thousands of dollars in debt, you don't have the freedom to be like,
some
yo,
hundreds.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You don't have the freedom to be like, yo, let me go.
Yeah,
Let me
I'm
go get this
hurting.
ring real
Let
quick.
me-
Like, like, no, I'm sorry, your credit doesn't really line up with what you want to do. And so
Are you a billionaire, or-
I think finances is a huge piece of it. I think that part of the reason why men, women, people, period, aren't as enthusiastic about marriage is because financially it just
You know what?
it's intimidating.
It's a piggyback thing. It's financial, and women like they're a little more showy than us. They want the ring. They won't be happy with the ring unless it's the ring they want.
Yeah. Well, you
And
didn't
then-
even let me finish, Jerome.
I know.
I didn't even get to finish because of you, Jerome.
I don't think it was me that time. I was trying to help you. I was throwing you the
I just want a
hoops.
clarification,
And you kept
man.
missing them. I was trying to get you out of there.
I know.
I
It's
just
all
want
love.
some
And
clarification.
so, and
Yeah, I
weddings
could
are
really see
very
that, though.
expensive.
Rings are expensive.
And then I think it's the fairy tale people live in. They want to have this
Society
wedding.
says.
They want this big wedding to show off and all the. And I think men are intimidated by women wanting these things, and so they holding off. They're saving a little more. They're trying to, and before they can get all these things accumulated, they see the flaws.
Is it possible that the I don't want to use the word sanctity, but the value in marriage has decreased?
Definitely.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I had to agree.
Like legit, like you look, and I even hate to say her name, but I mean she's such a public figure. You have to talk about it. Kim Kardashian was married to the Chris Humphrey dude for like what, 14 days,
Something like that.
13 days.
Is that crazy?
Like 13, like legit, like 13 days. And you know what I'm saying? I think that by seeing so many divorces happen, and
And then that's that. Over half of marriages end in the first 5 years. Over half.
yeah,
Yeah,
So
it's crazy.
With
It's like,
people knowing that, you
Yeah.
like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
right.
why take that shot if you don't have? You know what I'm saying? Like,
But
it's
then
a
my
risk you're not
thing
willing to
is,
take.
my thing is too though. I look at it and I'm like, okay, yeah, you're not getting married, but y'all live together. Y'all paying bills together.
Right.
Married.
So why
got to join a
why let the government get in your business? That's what it is. And they don't want the government
I'm
in their
there.
business.
I'll be honest. It's not really that. It's like I don't feel like I should have a set standard on when something happens. It's like right now I can't afford to make the moves I'd like to make. I'll be honest, you know what I mean? And like you were saying, there's cost to all of this stuff.
It's
and I
only
still-
$20. Technically, it's
I
only
want-
$20
yeah, and
to
you're
get
right,
married.
You're right. But I still would like to give my wife
What she
her,
wants.
her experience. You know what I mean? And in
It's
all
your day
honesty,
too, K-Mo. No, when it happens, it's your day too.
Facts.
You get some say
hey,
in the matter. It's your day too.
You know what? You're right, and I haven't even thought of it that way because it's really all about her at the end of the day for me. But it is my day. You know what I mean? But for me, I just feel like I want to be in the right situation, and I honestly I fought for myself to be in a position where I am stable, where I need to be as far as financially. And it just hasn't happened where I would like to be at, and I'm working on it, you know what I mean? And I think that soon it's coming, but it's not like I should be.
How soon? What's the date?
Soon, eh?
Well,
Can we be there?
I don't have a date yet. You know, what
I got
I'm
a
saying?
plan for a proposal.
Can
Hey.
I tell
Hey,
you
y'all probably be a part of the process. you know what
This
I'm
is
saying?
how I
As much
feel,
as y'all-
man, about
y'all with
that.
me.
Listening to that K-Mo immediately made me think of the many marriages that stood stood the test of time. But when you go back to the beginning, when you go back
It
to
was rough.
the first chapter, boys was broke out here. No money, didn't own nothing. But 50 years later, they still with the same person that they was with when they started. So when I hear that the reason why I'm not committing, or the reason not committing, the reason why I'm not taking that next step is because I want to be in the right financial. I immediately think of this. There's a lot of people who was never in the right financial
My parents
situation.
got married in their living room.
Hey, and I'm not saying that's not possible, but I feel like I still have.
She should want you for
the
you, K-Mo.
capability
For
to
you,
give her
K-Mo.
the experience. It ain't got nothing to do with me.
I feel what
I-
you're saying.
I
You
told-
you saying
it
that
ain't got nothing
if
to
you're
do with
able
me.
to give your bride that experience,
Yeah, like
You
I
just
want.
gonna be
It's
real
like
proud
it's
about
like
it.
her
It's
first
a
time.
pride
Do
thing
a,
for
You know what I'm
a
saying?
renewal of the vows.
It's a pride
Do
thing
10-year
for 'em.
renewal
Yeah.
vows.
And you know, you got a point. You got a point. And honestly, I haven't really discussed it
Don't
with
put
her
no conditions on
because
your love.
I honestly have been
Limitations.
fighting for that opportunity. Like I'll be straight up with y'all, and I guess I'm laying it all out on the line. These situations that I've been in my life, far as jobs and things, I've positioned myself to be able to do the things that I feel is fair. You know, my woman has been through a lot with me, and if she has an actual picture of an old man and an old woman, you know, side by side holding each other. And when we first met, she said, "This is what I want." And to be honest, we've upheld that. But the thing is we just haven't been able to take that next step. So in my mind, we're like married already. But in actual society, we're not. But I want to give her the experience that I feel women deserve. And, you know, I don't want her to feel like, you know, it's just like when we get to talking about prom and you're like, yo, I didn't really get to go to prom, or I didn't. No, I'm taking you to the prom and the best dress you got. I'm going to give you that experience.
Have you had the conversation with her? Has she said, this is what I want? I want the whole nine. Or
we've had the conversation, not to the detail of like, it's got to be like this, but she wants a certain type of wedding. And I respect that.
Peep this. And this is me being, you know what I mean, transparent. When I got married, I spent legit, no lie, I remember it to this day. I spent a good $500, $600 after tax on my wife's wedding ring. To this day, we've been married, we about to be married 7 years in August. To this day, she won't let me upgrade the ring.
That's deep.
She refused.
I told my wife she would. You ever seen The Count of Monte Cristo?
Yeah.
Ever read the book, seen the movie?
I heard about it. I don't know nothing about it though.
You never did?
I haven't seen it.
Read the book? Okay, read the book. It's better than the movie, but the movie is pretty good. His fiance at the time, he was poor, she was rich. He didn't have enough money to give her a ring, but he proposed to her and gave her a piece of string and wrapped it around her finger. Long story short, the dude who really wanted her was rich, got him locked away in prison. He escaped, found his treasure. And the friend was his best friend, married his wife. And so he had to prove himself who he was to her because it was years that went past. And she still had that piece of string on his finger because she said, I was always married to you.
That's deep.
So the reason why I bring that up, bro, is because sometimes as men, because we have this pride about ourselves, we sometimes put more pressure on us than is actually like really there. And that's why I asked you, have you talked to her about it? Because it could be a thing where she's saying, my dream is to be with you. Like, it's not even about the dress. It's not about the... Now, listen.
Y'all sparking situations.
If you do need a photographer, www.damongolden.com.
You see how the pressure applied just for the business?
but I'm serious, though, because I see it because I work in the wedding industry. I see so many times, man, where people invest more in the wedding than they do in the marriage.
That's deep.
They invest more in the wedding. They sacrifice more for the wedding than they do for the marriage.
I know people got divorced before their wedding was paid for.
Wow. And see, this the whole thing.
Before the thing was paid out, you still paying on something that you done left.
That's deep. That's deep. Like Jerome was saying.
That's crazy.
What hit me hard is when Jerome said, it's your day too. You know, I want to do these things. I'll be honest. I want to show off a little bit.
Came on Need Love too.
Yeah, like I remember going to my brother's wedding, my brother Jason, and I remember walking up to him and congratulating him on being a great brother because he showed me the right away. He had all his kids with the same woman and been with her since high school. I was like, man, I can't do that because I've already made some choices in my life. But I will say I commend you on being a great brother. His wedding was beautiful.
I married all my baby mamas.
I think that that was a Jerome exclusive.
David, what was you about to say?
That's what I said.
Wow, you married them all, huh?
Married all his baby mamas.
I married all of them.
Hey, well, listen,
Airline one. All of them. But I couldn't make them. But his wedding really inspired me. And I was really like, I want to be able to, because one thing about it was a family experience too. You know, my dad came, my brothers and everybody, and we had that experience together. And I'll say that, you know, it was a memorable thing, you know what I mean? And so I personally would like to be able to do something that is a family moment. And, you know, just doing it behind closed doors real quick, it's not a moment for my family. And that's something that's big to me. You know, just being real.
Traditionally, is it like the bride's father You're
Yes.
supposed to.
Traditionally, yes, the bride
father
father
is supposed to-
pays.
Hey, I'm
for the-
going the traditional route.
Hit that epiphany hit him
I
real
can't
quick.
do that one, man.
I did it both ways. I did the courthouse
Okay.
and I did the big wedding thing.
Yeah.
Shout out to Damon. He took wonderful pictures.
Hey man, check out his pictures one time,
Hey,
man.
I ain't getting no shout outs for the cut, but
I
it's
really
cool.
did my thing. I really did my thing.
My man said it was a cut of his
Listen.
life, though. You know what I'm saying? He still be like, why you couldn't
You
cut it
got to
like
be
that
a barber
again?
to get shout outs. You said you're a barbering guy.
Oh, man.
Can't say I got
Hey,
the best barber in
I
town.
am
You already said you got a barber.
director of activities
See?
at the Geter Center.
Can't get shout out.
And I'm also
You the best director of
barbering.
activities at the Geter Center.
And I'm also barbering as well.
That's all.
And my work speaks for itself. Others will not argue.
I'm glad
with
your
me if I
work
say
speaks
I'm
for you,
the
because if
best.
your app spoke for you, then
Hey, my app has been doing numbers. Stop it.
all right.
And so I always heard that you get where your marriage starts is where it ends. First one started in the courthouse. It ended in the courthouse.
Huh.
That's what I heard. And so don't get married at the Justice of Peace.
I'm glad you're saying that now, but you just was encouraging me.
This is my thing. If you get married, don't get married for the wrong reasons.
right.
I honestly, if you get married for religious reasons, I don't think you need to go to a judge to get it. It still costs $20. You could get your pastor to marry you for the same $20 that a judge does.
Let me ask you this, because you said don't get married for the wrong reasons. But there's a lot of people. I feel like we've had this conversation before. Me and Dame have. There's a lot of people that get married, and it's more so of a strategic move for them.
Money.
Oh,
For like money or I mean, and it works out. They don't get divorced.
Your reasons are your reasons. I didn't say what reasons were right or wrong.
Okay.
My reasons the first time might not have been all the great reasons, but it happened. But I made it happen as long as I could.
See?
And second time I got married for my right reasons. First
Okay.
time was
There you go. Yeah, shout out. Shout out. Go ahead and say her name real quick.
Janelle, baby.
Hey.
There we go.
Baby.
Yeah. Y'all got nicknames?
What?
Y'all got nicknames for each other?
Yeah.
Yeah. K-Mo, you got nicknames?
I'll take
Not
one.
really, man. Not really. I don't have no nickname.
You got no nicknames, K-Mo?
Nah.
Mine.
No? James, you got Jimmy? You got a nickname?
Jimmy.
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 Jimmy, you got I mean, what's her nickname?
Jimmy.
Left
That
or
don't
right?
sound right. What is that? Is that another Jimmy? That's two Jimmys in one. Man, I don't know if I want two Jimmys.
All right.
So now, man, I think that I don't know. I think that we're going to continue to see this trend that less and less people are going to enter into
It's cheaper to keep. That's all I
into
know.
marriage. You know what I mean? And so
It ain't cheaper to keep.
I think
okay.
I think
But you
I
can buy
think
happiness.
You
Yeah.
can. I
Get a
don't
divorce
believe
so
that.
you can buy it.
Now I ain't been through nothing like that.
Yeah,
but
so-
I don't know if you can buy happiness. Though.
You can buy happiness, you can't purchase joy.
Yeah.
Boom.
They say it's cheaper to keep her though.
who knows?
You know what I'm saying?
Jerome knows.
I know.
It ain't.
Jerome's experienced it all out here. You know what I mean?
Everything. Good, bad, and different.
Yeah. He rolling.
So, anyways, man, listen, we are super grateful for y'all tuning in, man, and checking us out. We are excited about being able to, have this platform and, get a chance to talk to these
Dame
lovely
hit the
people
hook.
and have these great conversations. We do have an event coming up on April 27th.
Think about it, Dan.
It is the All Black Affair, and so it's going to be a lounge type situation, man, where people who are grown, might be able to come out and enjoy themselves. We'll have music, we'll have libations as well, and so
I will be
it's
there,
gonna
don't
be
worry.
A great environment, man. It's gonna be a great environment. You never, somebody might get married just off of coming through.
They might meet their soulmates
we
there.
might, be inspiring marriage. at the Black Affair. You know what I mean? The All Black Affair. So I'm gonna let.
That's not just a racial thing.
No, it's not.
It's
No,
an attire.
Yes, facts. Yes.
It's attire.
Black attire. All my
You
white
can be
people,
black though.
please come out. All my white people, like I love y'all. I need y'all out here.
And we're black.
You know what I'm saying? But wear black, yes, please. You know what I mean? And if you want to, you can wear a Black Panther shirt, you know what I mean, to show that you really down for the culture. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So, anyways, I'm gonna let Rome give us a couple more, you know what I mean, pieces of information about that event coming up April 27th.
Tickets are on sale right now. I think we got about half of the tickets sold, so make sure you get in there, get them. Contact us all. We all have tickets on hand, ready to
Facto.
sell. $15 a piece. Whatever we don't sell, they go for $20 at the door, so get them early. Food will be included while supplies last, always. It is an open bar. We will have a DJ, and we are working on some other things. We might have a raffle, giving away a couple free things.
That's right.
We should have merch by that time ready for sale to check it out. But make sure you hit us up, follow us on Facebook for more information. Jump in our inboxes to get details and information. We definitely are promoting it heavy. And we're always on the move. Hit us up.
Definitely, man. So, hey, listen, thank you guys so much for listening.
Dang, don't forget. Hit the hook.
Thank you so much, Jimmy, for coming through. You know what I'm saying?
Jimmy
Filling in.
Chill.
Man, thank you guys for having me.
Like
Yeah,
Jimmy.
man. We definitely. Oh wow. We definitely miss.
I didn't mean it like
Yeah,
that.
well,
Right now,
Jimmy.
I was received. We definitely miss our bro Sincere, man. Hopefully he'll be back with us next week, man. And so, but until then, please like, share, comment, subscribe. Everybody and their mama should be listening to this podcast. So you're doing your friends a disservice if you don't tell them about the Culturally Correct Show. You know what I mean? So once again, thank you so very much for listening. Like, comment, subscribe, all the other good stuff, and we're gonna catch y'all next week. 9 talking about.
Peace.
Bang.